Hi, everybody. It's Tara Green here. Now, I have gone live. Okay, there we go. You can see me now. I've gone live on my own rather than on the automatic. I don't know if that makes a difference sometimes. Anyway, I'll wait a few minutes until people show up. Please don't be shy. Come and say hi so I can see you. Hold on a second. Yeah, is anybody there? Um, Hold on a minute. I'm just trying to scroll to see if I can see myself here on the screen. And I'm not for some reason. So can you guys see me there? Um, okay. Hello. There doesn't seem to be anybody here. Okay, so where is everybody? Okay. Sometimes it doesn't go live on its own, so I'll just wait a minute or two. It's very odd that there's nobody here. I did put out, is anybody there? I see two people there. Come on. You have to come and say hi, otherwise I don't know that anybody's really here. And then I'm kind of shouting into the void here. Okay, so why can't I see your comments here? Okay, please say hi. It's Tara Green here. I'm actually in Sedona, Arizona. And I'm going to be here to give you May's Astrology and Tarot Card Preview. Usually there's a whole bunch of people that come on this live broadcast. It is April the 29th here. I'm doing this one day early because one of the other cosmic intelligence agents, Cassandra, usually does a Wednesday thing. So I'm just going to wait a bit for people to come up and to come on. So how's everybody doing today? There's usually a bunch of people. There's Barbara. Okay, I'm just going to wait a few minutes. Hi, Barbara. Barbara's in BC. We're just going to wait here. Again, I'm in Pacific Daylight Time here. Arizona does not. Hi. Okay, here comes people. Arizona does not change, doesn't do daylight savings time. So I'm on basically, I think, Pacific Daylight Time. So hi, everybody. Hi, Marianne. Please let me know where you are. My friend Barbara's there. I'm going to wait for a few more people to come on and say hi as well, because I went and started myself, which is, I think it's a different channel or something like that. But anyway, I'm just going to wait a few more minutes till people come on here. And I want to welcome you to May's. Let me just see if I can see myself on here. To May's. Hold on a second. I just want to see if I can see myself here on there. Okay. Doesn't seem like people can see me on the screen for some reason, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. No, I didn't want to go to my page. Excuse me for a second here. I just want to make sure that people can see me. Hi from San Diego. Hi, Kat. Where are you from? From Arizona as well? Okay, I'm up here in Sedona, Arizona. I'm just going to wait a few minutes because I kind of jumped the ship there. And say hi. Hi from Indiana. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I don't need to look at my camera now. I want to welcome everybody to May. We're almost at May yet. I had to do this a day early because I'm going to pack up to go back to Canada on May the 1st for May Day, actually. And so I want to give you all of the astrology preview for April. So, of course, we're moving from the time of the Pope, and the Pope just passed away, of course, which is the sign of Taurus, to the sign of Gemini. Sorry, to the sign of Gemini. And there's, okay, we got through a lot of tension in March. We got through eclipse season, right? April. We're still under that very tense Mars Pluto opposition that's going on. It was just of course, Canada's election day yesterday. I don't want to get into the politics, but I'm going to give you all the deets about all of the major astrology aspects for May. It's hard to believe it's May already. We're going into the 5th month. And then I'm going to use my larger deck of tarot cards here. Now you're going to find this interesting. I've misplaced my Wheel of Fortune card, which is kind of interesting. I don't know where it's gone here, but I moved another one of my older cards in. So of course you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is the planet Jupiter. And I'm going to use this other deck here, which is called the Haindl Tarot, to also give you some extra insight. I like to do both decks. Okay. So, okay, May, the 5th month. The merry month of May the 1st. Actually, April the 30th is traditionally the day when you're supposed to go out, and there's lots of wooing going on, traditionally pagan, Camelot, the merry month of May. It's a fertility festival. The flagpole that people dance around is a phallic symbol, so it worships the green man in pagan mythology. So you want to get ready for that. And actually, you're supposed to, if you want to create a relationship, go out and put out food for the fairy queen, the May queen, who comes out April the 30th. So a little heads up there. So there's going to be, of course, a full moon, May the 12th in Scorpio, and a new moon in Gemini, May 26th. On April the 30th, we just had, well, no, it will happen tomorrow, sorry, Venus entering Aries. So she's very much at the very last degree of Pisces, very powerful. This is a closing of love relationships. Today, she is then going to be in Mars's home sign and considered to be weak and debilitated when planets are in the opposite signs that they rule. She rules Libra. She is considered weakened in Mars's sign, okay, where she becomes the Amazon warriors going to town. On May the 20th, a little early this year, Sun enters Gemini. On the 22nd, Venus and Mars have a conjunction in Aries. That's a very nice romantic day. And then Saturn, May 24th. Saturn, the planet of karma, limitations, obstacles, testing, maturity, elders, enters Aries. And I'll give you the exact dates on that. That is a biggie. So we're starting to move, not just Pluto and Aquarius, not just Neptune and Aries, but Saturn also in Aries. And Saturn and Neptune are going to be very close from May the 24th off and on for part of this year. And then they have a historic conjunction, February 20th, 2026 at 0 degrees of Aries. Very big deal. On the 29th or 30th, Uranus reaches the last degree of Taurus. So when any planet are at the very last degrees of a sign, they are at their most powerful. Okay, so here's the deets. May the 2nd is the most romantic day of the year with Venus conjunct Neptune, or higher octave, at 1 degree of Aries. So again, a new cycle in relationships, in values. You know, everybody's watching the tariff markets with Trump, the stock market. Venus rules all money, love, relationships, the arts, creativity. So that's a very idealistic day in Aries. So we're going to find a very new shift in, you know, passionate love, impulsive love, jumping into love. You know, fools rush in where angels fear to tread, spontaneous anger, independent women, Venus and Aries. You know, she doesn't take any bullshit. But this can also be kind of delusional, you know, in a way. Venus conjunct Neptune, but it's got a whole new flavor. It's fiery. Now, on May the 4th, Pluto turns retrograde. Now, Pluto does this every year, of course, at 3 degrees, 49 minutes Aquarius. That's at 8:27 a.m. PDT, 11:27 a.m. EDT, 3:27 p.m. GMT, and Pluto will be retrograde until October the 13th or the 14th, depending on where you live in the world. He's going to move backwards to 1 degree, 22 minutes of Aquarius. Okay, so again, if you're born in that very early degree of Aquarius, then you're going to feel Pluto, of course, backing up over you, get you to rehash, redo, recollect, rethink issues about money, your legacy, death, rebirth, wills, things like that. Anyway, I'm fighting off a bit of a cold here, so if I sound a little hoarse. Forgive me. On May the 5th, Mercury sextiles Jupiter. Now, because the planets are aligned in, well, Jupiter's still in Gemini, a lot of Aries Gemini planets are going to be very supportive, sextiling each other. It's a nice positive aspect. Mercury sextile Jupiter in Gemini. So good for sales, good for launching an ad campaign, good for talking. Again, you can have that dualism as well. You know, Mercury's in Aries there, kind of spontaneous. 10:21 a.m. PDT, 1:21 a.m. EDT, 5:21 a.m. GMT. Venus and Aries sextiles Pluto. Again, this is about wealth. This is about the stock market. You know, Pluto rules the stock market as well, rules the wealth of the earth. Plutocrats. It's at 3+ degrees, 2:31 p.m. PDT, 5:31 p.m. EDT, 9:31 p.m. GMT. On the 6th, Mercury conjuncts Chiron, which can be a very kind of a painful, a wounded day. 24 Aries, 6:48 p.m. PDT, 9:48 p.m. EDT. May the 7th at 1:48 a.m. GMT. And then on the 10th, Mercury enters Taurus at 5:15 a.m. PDT. So that's a big deal. Mercury entering Taurus is going to slow our minds down. Sorry, it makes everything much more, sorry, how did I slip there? It makes everything much more consolidated, again, about money, values, the arts, relationships. We can slow our brains down a little bit. with Mercury entering Taurus. So 5:15 a.m. PDT, 8:15 a.m. EDT, 12:15 p.m. GMT. Then there's the full moon on the 12th at 22 Scorpio 13, and that's at 9:56 a.m. PDT, 12:56 p.m. EDT, 4:56 p.m. GMT. Mercury squares Pluto on the 12th as well. So that's during the full moon, bringing a lot of this trade stuff to a head. You know, Taurus, you're always dealing with the stock market, the bull market, right? So it could be fun with lots of tariffs, bull market, crypto stuff. Pluto rules crypto while it's in Aquarius for the next 20 years. On the 17th, the Sun conjuncts Uranus at 27 plus degrees. So that happens once a year. So again, think outside the box. Things can be very chaotic, unexpected at that time. 4:32 p.m. PDT, 7:32 p.m. EDT, 11:32 p.m. GMT. I go through all of these details. Okay, also on the 17th, there's not that many this month. Mercury squares Mars at 9:36 p.m. PDT, and on the 18th at 2:36 a.m. EDT, 4:36 a.m. GMT at 13 degrees of Taurus Leo. On the 20th, a 29-degree sun. So the sun every year at that very last degree of Pisces, you know, is kind of a culmination, right? So if you're born just before the sun enters Gemini, now it can change year to year, you've got that sort of finality of Taurusness to you. It's also conjunct the big star Algol. So where are we? Sun sextile Saturn. Okay, 2:38 a.m. PDT, 5:38 a.m. EDT, 9:38 a.m. GMT. Gemini season starts on the 20th at exactly 11:55 a.m. PDT, 2:55 p.m. EDT, 5:55 p.m. GMT, and May the 22nd, Venus at 16 Aries trines Mars. So that's also very nice for relationships. Venus, Mars, when they're in positive supporting aspects, is very good. 12:42 a.m. PDT, 3:42 a.m. EDT, 7:42 a.m. GMT. I feel like I'm the astrology weatherman here. Sun sextiles Neptune also on that day. 5:40 a.m. PDT, 8:40 a.m. EDT, 12:40 p.m. GMT. On the 24th, the Sun trines Pluto. Now that's also big wealth. Air signs. So if you have planets at early air signs, 11:55 a.m. EDT, 3:55 p.m. GMT. On the 24th, Mercury conjuncts Uranus. Again, another powerful think outside the box, chaotic, unexpected energies, but it's great for inventing. 4:15 p.m. PDT, 7:15 p.m. EDT, 11:15 p.m. GMT. And then May 24th, the big one, Saturn entering Aries at 3:45 a.m. GMT. 8:35 p.m. PDT, 11:35 p.m. EDT. On the 25th, Saturn enters Aries at 3:45 a.m. GMT. Now, this is the first time since Saturn's been in Aries since April the 7th, 1996, until October 15th, 1998. So if you're a Gen Z, this is going to affect you. They're all getting ready to have their first Saturn return. And then Saturn went back into Pisces, but then stayed until February 28th. 1999. We can all do that Prince song, I guess. Okay, so Saturn enters Aries is another 2.5-year kind of mini era. Again, the planets are all moving into fire and air signs, right? So things are going to be think about fire and the wind blowing on it and what that looks like. It's all going to be and then, of course, Uranus is also going to enter Gemini, but not right now. On the 25th, Mercury enters Gemini. Its home sign, 5:59 p.m. PDT, 8:59 p.m. EDT, 12:59 a.m. on the next day, May 25th. GMT, Mercury is most at home in its ruling sign. So again, it's good for thinking, advertising, merchandise. Mercury means merchandise, the merch. The new moon on the 26th at 6 degrees Gemini, 6 minutes, 8:02 p.m. PDT, 11:02 p.m. EDT, May 27th at 2:02 a.m. GMT. On the 26th, Mercury sextiles Neptune. That's good for dreaming. Neptune is in Aries is going to change the nature, the color, the element of our dreams, much more kind of violent, active, aggressive. That's Neptune in Aries. Anyway, 1:37 p.m. PDT, 4:37 p.m. EDT, 9:37 p.m. GMT. May 27th, Mercury trines Pluto. Again, big wealth days, good for investors. 3 degrees Gemini. Aquarius also good for anybody with that degree of Libra. 10:56 a.m. PDT, 1:56 p.m. EDT, 5:56 p.m. GMT. And last, May 29th, the Sun conjuncts Mercury. Now, the Sun and Mercury conjunct many times during the year. Mercury's direct, of course, 9 degrees at 9:13 p.m. PDT. On May the 30th at 12:13 a.m. EDT and 4:13 a.m. PDT. And I'm racing through that because you see the planets are now in Aries and I'm going faster. Okay, so I know that the part you all want is for me to do the tarot cards here. So the way this usually works, hold on, whoops, I'm off the page there. Okay, the way this usually works, I've got my crystal here. I can't smudge here because I don't want to set off the fire alarm, so we'll imagine that I've smudged everybody. Okay, so we're going to start with Aries. And what does May have in touch for Aries? I can put my glasses on too. Okay, so let's tune in from the energy of Sedona, very high electromagnetic frequencies here. I was here for the eclipses in March. Okay, so Aries, you get the card of Leo here. So starting off with the bang, Leo, of course, the card of strength, whatever number it's in, 8 or 11, whatever system you use. Passion, desire, lust in this card. This is the Crowley deck. You know, moving forward with your passion unhesitatingly. This is about, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going for. I want to be center stage. I want to be the star. I've got new energy. Neptune and Aries, I've got a new dream. I got to sing it out to the world. I got to dance it on the world stage. I want to party. I want to celebrate. I want to be joyous. I want to have fun. Leo is the side of the child as well. So lots of spontaneity going on here. This is a high energy card. Be out in the sun, Aries. Enjoy the sun and get lit from the inside. Okay, now I'm going to use this other deck here. And I don't usually do this, but I'm going to do the whole deck here. I usually just work with the major cards. So Aries. Now this is a very beautiful spiritual deck as well, the Haindl Tarot, with different interpretations. So let me just see. I'm going to put my cards on here. Okay, so you get this card called Ra. Now this is also the sun. So the synchronicity is going on here. The sun, God, Ra in ancient Egypt, father of swords in the south. This is the king of swords or the knight of swords. So this is again Sagittarius. More fire. Okay, more fire energy for Aries as if you don't have enough and aren't going to have even more. Okay, so there you go for that one. Hi from Reading, Pennsylvania. Welcome. All right, so Taurus. So if you have Taurus sun, moon, rising sign, or any planets in Taurus, of course, Venus is exalted in Taurus. Mars not so good in Taurus. All right, you get the Fool. All right, so Taurus. So the Fool, 0. Doesn't mean you're a nothing or a nobody. It's actually the symbol of enlightenment. It's the wisest of all the cards in the deck. The first time you get a tarot card, you're considered to embody the Fool. So this is about, everything's brand new, Taurus. Your values, especially when Venus enters Aries or whatever sign Venus is in, it's going to change how you feel and view things. So you get to be in a brand new beginning, like anything can happen. All time is now. You're totally in the moment, Taurus. So don't ruminate about the past or the future. Just be fully in the present and trust and have faith. The Fool is, again, the symbol of enlightenment because you need to realize in your body and your gut instincts, you've been around the block a million times. And you've experienced everything. So, you can take risks. You can just be present. Don't worry about it. Trust the universe, right? Whatever happens, you'll be fine. So feed the inner child. This is the sense of playfulness. Okay, Taurus. So you get that card. So let's give you an extra card here, Taurus, kind of to balance things out. Okay, you get the card of the 9 of stones here, which would be equivalent to the 9 of pentacles. Disc coins is the card of wealth. So Tauruses love wealth. They love beauty. They love the money's coming. So the money's coming if you trust, if you stay brand new and open. This is a very good manifestation card for you, Taurus. Okay, so you're on the money. All right. So Gemini. Now, of course, we're going to move into Gemini season. Jupiter's still in Gemini. Mercury's going to enter Gemini. So that's all nice stuff for Geminis. Okay, but they have to let go. Gemini, you have to surrender. This is the hangman here. So be careful that you don't get yourself hung up being the martyr, okay? Being the scapegoat, being cast out, because that was what the scapegoat traditionally was. It was actually a goat that got all the sins from the year, and then it was sent out into the wilderness. That was an ancient Roman custom, actually, at the end of the year, and the end of December 31st. They would do that around the New Year's Day. So be careful that you're not seeing things totally upside down, Gemini. This card here is about inverting your consciousness, and Gemini is about consciousness because it's ruled by Mercury. Instead of getting it in this usual upward, sun energy consciousness, you turn it upside down, which is feminine, earthy, chthonic, right? This is how Odin actually channeled the runes. So, you may be screwing yourself up here, Gemini. You may have an ass backwards, excuse my language. You have to let go. You do have to let go of whatever it is you've been caught up in. All right. Now, Gemini, so let's give you an extra, let's give you an extra card here. Cards are all jumping out of my hands here almost. I caught them though. You get this card called Harmony. Harmony, the Two of Stones. So in this deck, stones, earth, pentacles, coins, balance. Okay, Two of Discs, it would be like in other tarot decks. So making sure you stay in a balanced physical state. Okay, this is about money as well, a balanced view back and forth. That's what Gemini is all about. All right, so Cancer. Let's see what you got, Cancer. Okay. Cancer, you get the card of the mother here, the Empress. Now, this is very much a nurturing fertility card. The number 3, the Empress, the Queen. She is shown in her fertility aspect as usually a pregnant woman, is the cornucopia of fertility. And I can tell you, Cancer, that you're going into your best year and your most fertile year yet when Jupiter enters Cancer on June the 9th for a whole year. So if you want to start a family physically, you should get ready now. Time to do cleanses. If you want to start any new anything, Cancer, with your home, with working at home, with issues with your children, mothering, nurturing other women, even nursing, whatever it is you nurture and you love, this is the time to go for it. Okay. And be the goddess. Remember that all women were once considered to be goddesses and worshipped just for being in the feminine, being manifestations of the divine feminine. So it's also money, in a sense. It's Venus. So again, Venus should bring you money, wealth, fertility, creativity in abundance. Okay, so let's see what Cancers get. It'd be a good time to move or to buy a home also with Jupiter in Cancer, be by water. All right, you get the death card. Okay, so with every birth, Cancer, there's also a death. So don't be afraid. These are just two polarities of the same thing, and our universe works on polarity. So something has to be let go of for that fertile, creative, mothering, nurturing energy to come in, Cancer. So wherever you have Cancerian energy, you want to think about that. There must be an offering. Traditionally, ancient peoples saw the planets as gods and goddesses, and you would make an offering to the planet, right? To the Great Mother, okay? To help this fertility, creativity, a sacrifice in a way. Not really a sacrifice, that's more Pisces, but letting something go for something else to come in. All right. So Leo. Okay. So Leo, you can make comments. It's always nice to see your comments there. Leo, you get the card of the Sun again. Leo is ruled by the Sun, so this is perfectly in sync. You can see I'm doing this live. There's no gimmicks. I have no cards up my sleeve. So shine, be bright, be bold, be yourself. This is very good for Leos. Wear gold wherever you have Leo planets. If you're Leo rising, it's good for you for this month. If you're got the moon in Leo, it's a positive energy. It's about playfulness and joy and happiness and expressing your full self. Leo rules the will, it rules the heart. So this golden hearted, seeking a heart of gold, that can come to you this month. Okay. But be the heart of gold. You have to be the heart of gold to get the gold, right? Like cures like. Okay. Somebody said Michigan here. Okay. Hi, Michigan. Leos, let's see what else you've got. Let's see what else you got, Leo. Okay. Besides the Sun, you get uselessness. This card's called uselessness. Now, these cards also have the I Ching on them, which is the ancient Chinese book of changes. So it's like the Seven of Swords. So again, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Thoughts can be useless if you overthink it too much. If you slice it and dice it, just be at your source, Leo, and you're going to be fine. Okay, don't question it. Don't overanalyze it. Okay. All right. So now we're on to Virgos. Okay, so Virgo Sun, rising, moon, whatever planets you have in Virgo, your south node, your north node, you can use this card to guide you. Okay, you get the wishing card. I do use a couple of extra cards in this that are not major arcana for this reading. So, Virgos, I get to be your fairy godmother and give you 9 wishes. Now, the key with this card, as everybody knows, the universe will always send you exactly what you wished for. So be very careful what you wish for. I would think about it. Virgos tend to be thinkers, intellectual. Think about it, analyze it, not too much. Write down what your 9 wishes are, and it's again, this is like Jupiter and Pisces. This is about giving energy to the world, sending blessings to the world, sending compassion, giving to charity. So you can keep those 9 wishes going. So what would you wish for? Again, the universe will send you what you wish for, and be careful what you don't wish for as well. So very carefully be conscious and feel it emotionally. Feel it. Pisces is the accomplishment. This is the completion. We're all at this completion stage in the world. How does it feel to have all of these 9 cups overflowing? It's incredibly abundant and beautiful and spiritual. And just go, oh, all my prayers have been answered. I'm so happy. And I'm just going to keep giving away to more people. All right. So, Virgo. Now, it is your opposite sign, Pisces. So, you may have to look into your shadow there to be more compassionate, more giving. Okay. All right. Not so tight. Virgos can be tight with money. All right. So, Virgo, let's see what else you've got besides the wishing card. You get this card is called Chief Seattle. This is very interesting. This deck. It's called the Son of Stones in the West. It's the Prince of Stones. So the Prince of Stones would be like the younger pentagrams, pentacles, coins, discs. So it would be like the Prince or the Page of coins in most other tarot decks. So Chief Seattle. Honestly, I'm not that familiar right off the top of my head with Chief Seattle. Obviously, I have read about it, but I can't recall right now what Chief Seattle symbolizes. So if somebody wants to fill me in here or go look up, I can't do it right now, what Chief Seattle is all about. This is relevant also with the wishing card. Okay, so I assume it means, I don't know what it means, actually. So anyway, look up Chief Seattle, Virgo. So you like to look up information and yeah, and take that advice. Okay, along with your 9 wishes. All right, so Libras. Okay, so Libra, let's see what you've got here. All right, you get the Aeon. So this card here, the number 20, the Aeon, is traditionally Judgment Day, and usually the angel Gabriel, I almost said Gabriel, um, is on this card blowing the trumpet on Judgment Day. So this represents rebirth. This is one of the 3 what they call maternal letters, like the Fool and the Hangman. This is a third of those cards. So it's interesting that those 3 have shown up. They are what they call maternal special, like a baptism card. Okay, so this is rebirth. Okay, so Libra, maybe you've gone through enough crap in your relationships and you want to make a new beginning. Again, with that Mars Pluto opposition, things are tense here. So, this is where you herald a new day. This is the inner child, the golden inner child again, that comes first, that comes forward. So, again, let the old stuff that isn't serving your highest purpose go and really listen to your higher self, though, and come shining clearly in this new birth. Okay. So, Libra, let's see what else you have. This deck is really interesting because it does have a number of different things that you don't see in other decks. Okay. So, Libra, you get the Judgment card, not to judge yourself. This is the 5 of Cups, which is usually called disappointment in most decks. Okay, the 5 of Cups. Well, it's not a major disappointment. It's a minor disappointment, like all the 5s are. Again, well, that didn't work out. That's okay. There's still 5 cups to be filled. Okay, so don't get too hard on yourself. All right. So Scorpio. Let's see what Scorpio has here. All right, so Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, any planets in Scorpio, you get the Chariot. Okay, so Scorpio is water, Chariot is water. You get to be in the driver's seat, Scorpio. So no matter what kind of heavy duty machinations, manipulations, ruthless stuff that's going on in your life, you get to be in the driver's seat. You're like the mother, the nurturer, the center. The wheel in the center here represents the wheel of karma. Now, you need a lot of psychic protection here, Scorpio. And, all water signs tend to feel a lot, overfeel kind of. Scorpios tend to hide their feelings, but this is about deciding, even though this is a big up and down journey, what is really important in terms of family. It's Cancer. family, the children, nurturing, what your legacy, what you want your legacy to be, and moving forward, even though it's a very up and down journey here, right? As long as you stay centered and listen, it's also protection. The golden armor with the 12 stones of the zodiac is very protective. There's a whole Jewish mystical body associated with the Merkabah, or the chariot. Okay. So, Scorpio, let's see what you get. I'll give you an extra card here. All right, you get, this is 0. No, it's 10. Sorry, not 0. The 10 of stones, riches. Okay, so along with that Wheel of Fortune, this is all about the money, manifesting real things, physical things, tangible things through the emotional body. So again, this is a card of wealth. It's a card of richness, what your own values are, your own self-worth. Again, this is the final. The 10s are always the completion of the money or of a cycle. Let's put it that way. All right. So Sagittarius. Now, as all the planets are moving into fire signs, of course, this is good for Sagittarius. Last fire sign, and I'm a double Sag. All right, you get the Magician. Okay, so the Magician, the number 1 here, indicates a brand new thinking, a new project, something magical coming into your life. Sagittarians love the magic, but what sign doesn't? So you get to intend through your voice, your words, your consciousness, your intellect, the magic. You can respond to whatever anybody throws at you in your own way to understand and extract the magic there. So no matter what it is. So this is, again, very creative. You got to start new projects. You want to initiate things. You got to think about all the different aspects of that, right? So the Magician rules both sides of the mind. Okay, so try to stay balanced there, Sag. All right, so let's give Sagittarians an extra card here. Right, you get this one, which is called Swiftness, which is also a Sagittarius card. It's the 8 of Wands. I know in the other Crowley deck, this is I believe it's Mercury and Sagittarius, because I have Mercury and Sagittarius. That's why I remember this one. Anyway, there's an indigenous teaching about the positive arrows and the negative arrows. So this would be launching 8 positive arrows. The arrows represent the mind, of course. So 8 is always a sacred number, represents all the directions. There's 4 cardinal, 4 non-cardinal. That's what May the 1st is. We're at the middle between the seasons. Now in the Northern Hemisphere, May the 1st marks the halfway point from spring to summer, believe it or not, and the opposite down under. Cosmic Intelligence Agency, again, is based in Australia, so they're in the opposite season. So what are those 8 swords that you want to launch? There's also an I Ching hexagram there, which you can look up as well. Okay, so launch those swords of arrows of truth. Okay, swords are like arrows. Okay, now, so Capricorn. Okay, let's see what Capricorns get here. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, whatever planets you have in Capricorn, you take things seriously there. Okay, Capricorns, you get the Death card. Sometimes Capricorns can get so, what's the word? Pedantic is the word I want to use. So stuck in the material plane, you know what I mean? They don't want to budge, they don't want to let go. So you're going to have to learn to let go, Capricorn, this month. Some precious, dealing with the emotions, some feelings, some power struggle, Scorpio, ruthlessness, some underhanded thing maybe, and your own shadow. So looking deeply into your own shadow and your own fear of death, death is just another stage in life. Again, change, Capricorns, you are a cardinal sign, so you like to initiate things. So this can be a good card too, deep emotional change, enrichment, with your soul, and Scorpio rules the soul. All right, so Capricorns, let's give you an extra card as well. Let's see what you got, Capricorn. This is called the Daughter of Wands in the East. You can see it's clearly an Indian woman here. And this card would be like the Princess of Wands. Okay, so the Princess of Wands is like Pisces into Aries, I believe. Yeah, because the princesses are all the manifestations of the elements. So I know it moves, it's like the first of these princess cards moving from Pisces into Aries. So again, that would represent right now where we're at with Saturn at those last degrees of Pisces. So maybe a call to some spiritual energy here with the Death card. It can mean literally a passing of someone. and a very spiritual initiation. It could be traveling to some foreign place. I'm just taking this goddess energy here as this symbol of a foreign place, travel, a spiritual journey, something of that nature. Maybe you need to go on that, a vision quest, right? Okay. So if you have a guru that you work with, for example, call them in. Call in the mother. You know, there's some great, beautiful Devis and goddesses in the Indian tradition. Maybe you need to call them up to help you. Saraswati, Shakti, okay, call them up to help you. Lakshmi, that's for wealth. Okay, so Aquarius. Okay, we only got 2 more to go here. Okay, so Aquarius, sun, moon, rising, whatever planets you have in Aquarius. Now, of course, if you're born right in the beginning of Aquarius, Pluto is doing a number on you since 2023. Okay, now you get the Hermit here, the number 9. So we are in a number 9 year, 2025, reduces to 9. So you may have to stop. The 9s are completion energies. Stop and rethink things, Aquarius. This is Virgo. This is about taking stock, inventory, listening to your inner wisdom, staying very grounded, especially with that Mars Pluto opposition going on. It's very intense, heavy energy, big battle energy. So listen to your own inner wisdom. The Hermit is very wise. It is everybody's inner guide, listening to the gut instincts. Maybe you need to change your diet as well, Aquarius. Virgo rules diet, health. Maybe watch your health, get a health check, listen to your guts. Maybe you need to save money. Virgos like to save money. They're the accountants. They like a bargain, you know, so maybe you need to pull back in what you're spending and just kind of think about it, you know, in a way. Think, but stay in your gut instincts about it, you know. Again, an ending, a completion. Something's got to end before something new can begin. Okay, Aquarius. Let's see what Aquarius has here. Now I've got the full deck here, right? Okay. You get the power of the earth. It's the 4 of stones or discs, pentacles, coins. So again, the 4s always represent power, balance of the 4 elements. Again, there is an I Ching symbol on there. If you want to look what that means. Again, this is very earthy for Aquarius. Virgo, the Hermit, and this is also a very earthy card here. So again, grounding, where is your power? Maybe you need to sit and make yourself a little medicine wheel, always starting with the east, moving clockwise, and sit in those 4 directions and figure out what you want. Especially May the 1st is a good day to do that because we are in that cross quarter energy. It's good for everybody to do that, actually. Okay. So now Pisces, we were at the very last sign. So again, with the planets, Venus, the North node moving backwards into Pisces, Venus and Saturn have been very close together. Pisces, you know, born in the last of these Pisces, the completion of a major journey. You get the number 14 card, which is called Temperance traditionally, or Alchemy, or Art in this deck. This is a very beautiful card. It's the inner marriage card, the sacred marriage card, just like the Lovers. Gemini is the kind of human kind of relationship marriage card. This is the higher one. This is where both your higher selves in the masculine and feminine marry each other, become each other. It's a metamorphosis, actually. Masculine becomes feminine to understand her fully. Feminine becomes masculine or integrates. We'd call it integrating those 2 sides. So you're whole. So you're complete. And again, this is a very big sign of completion now with Saturn, the planet of karma, finishing up its 2.5-year journey through Pisces. But on a collective level, it is even a major, bigger cycle than that. So turning lead, which is Saturn, into gold, which is the sun. Okay. I mean, Saturn rules the world card in the tarot, or the universe, you know, physical reality, making the magic, making the gold. You are an alchemist. If you've never read that little book by Paulo Coelho, it's a great book. So make the magic, be the alchemist, you know, transmute anything, Pisces. So wherever you have Pisces planets, again, the nodes, my North node is in Pisces. You know, think about being the alchemist and how you can stir that pot up really good. All right, so let's give you another card here, Pisces. Okay, and you get this one. Oh, you get the devil. Okay, so the number 15, the devil card here is again fear. Now Pisces do tend, looks like a little smiley goat there, because it's associated with Capricorn, of course, this card, the devil, Capricorn. Again, material plane. Don't get stuck in the material plane. That Sagittarius card that's actually associated with alchemy, it is Sagittarius. You can see that on this card here, Sagittarius, Capricorn. So we're dealing with that kind of final axis there, the ninth to the 10th houses, actually ninth to 10th signs, not houses. Don't buy into the fear, Pisces. They can get paranoid. It's true. They can buy into the projections. Don't buy into that. Don't sell your soul to the devil. Don't buy into the relationship that seems too good to be true. Okay. Um, and laugh at the devil. Okay. Just laugh at him. It's not that there isn't evil in the world. There is, but they can only seduce you if you get caught in that just focusing on the money. And I have pulled cards for all the signs. So if you're just joining me now, this will be recorded and it will be posted on the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. And so I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you so much. I'm Tara Green. If you want to get in touch with me for a deep, in-depth reading, you can get in touch with me at Tarot. And please join the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. They have wonderful astrologers, workshops, all kinds of things like that. So again, I'm sending you blessings from Sedona, Arizona, a beautiful, very spiritual place. I hope you've really soaked in those energies from here. And I will be back in Toronto on May the 1st, and available for in-person parties, events, and things like that, but always available for readings for everybody in the world. So sending you many blessings. Happy April, happy May. See you next month. Okay, many blessings to you.